India-China relations more China को सम्मान लड़ाई में तो थे ना मेरे कमीशन चाइना को लड़ाई बंदा पहले भागो थियो तो चाइना को लड़ाई में मैंने थे ना अभी चाइना को बॉर्डर में सब भी ठोक में लिखा हमने देखे सब मैंने 1991 साल में 25 साल तक पहले हम लोग नेपाल इंडिया चाइना रिलेशंस रहे घर 1980 साल में राजीव गांधी ले Peking काम आथियो Peking त्यहाँ नेटवर्किङ प्रसङ्गमा ह्यान्डसेक भयो हाम्रो रिलेसन्स राम्रो हुँदै गयो त्यो बेला मिलिट्री टु मिलिट्री रिलेसन्स पनि सुरु भएको र मैले दुई जेनरलबाट इन्डियाबाट दुई जेनरलको बिचमा म एक थिएँ जो कि पीएलए को पिपल्स लिबरेसन आर्मी अफ चाइनाको इन्भिटेसनमा चाइना गएको थिएँ 25 साल पहले त्यसपछि मैले चाइना कम से कम 40 बन्द ज्यादा पालि चाइनामा गएको छ धेरै दोस्तहरू छ चाइना पीएलए को बिचमा र उनीहरूको एकाडेमिक सबै थिङ्क ट्याङ्कहरूमा त अहिले 3-4 महिना पहिले मैले गएको थिएँ नोभेम्बरमा मैले गएको थिएँ मैले सिङ्घाईमा 3 हप्ताको लागि इन्डिया रिलेसन्समा खास मुस्किल छैन कुछ फरक छ हामीलाई पनि सवाल आउँछ in English I think we have to also find out as to what China is all about. Is China a totalitarian communist state interested in furthering its own ambitions, or is it genuinely interested in cooperating with other countries for the prosperity of all? Today there is great turmoil within China itself. While economically it is going very fast and developing very well. And personally I've seen the remarkable developments taking place all over China. But at the same time, there are great imbalances in thinking, there are no political freedoms, there is no democracy, and there are major challenges ahead. But I don't want to say anything more about China. I am a great admirer of China in many ways. But to tell you exactly what our nature of relations with China is, we have some problems with China, purely on the border issue, where we are convinced, and we have all the evidence for it, that we have a right position, and therefore these can be resolved without any difficulty between us. But it has not happened, and it's important that we do not have such outstanding problems between two neighboring countries. Otherwise, we really can't build positive cooperative relations. But even then, we are continuing. Our Prime Minister's one main objective was, when he came to power, that we must develop good relations with China, and so that China's capability in developing infrastructure can be used to build not only India, but also all of South Asia. And that was the objective. And so what happened? Chinese foreign minister came immediately to India. We had the established relations in September of that year. The Prime Minister of China came to India, and the National Security Advisor from India went to meet the Chinese President Xi Jinping and told him that don't come to the capital, but come to Ahmedabad first. Come to the hometown of the Prime Minister. Because the Prime Minister wants to invite you as a favored guest. He has been to China many times. And so we tried to do that. But as the Prime Ministers were meeting in Ahmedabad, and many of you would have seen the photograph sitting on the same chula and moving around, that was the time the Chinese PLA was deployed on the borders, threatening to attack India. So we have some questions to ask of China. There are not enough answers to many of these issues. But India-China relations are good, and if Nepal wants to develop good relations with China, India can have no objection to that. Nepal is an independent, sovereign nation and can decide on its policies on its own. You have to decide as to what is good, what is bad. It is not that India is throwing Nepal into China's lap or whatever. But for us to decide the terms of engagement, would that be of benefit It can be of benefit to the minority people in the region, in other places. Would there be general support for that among the people of Nepal? Will the people of Nepal benefit as a result of that? So those are some of the questions that you have to ask yourselves. And whatever you decide, you can rest assured that India will have Nepal's interests in at heart. You would like Nepal to prosper, whatever the state of relations that you have with any other country. But we will always ask our friends to give this a very serious thought. I've been involved with dialogue with the Chinese on this One Belt, One Road initiative for some years now. Of course, the actual One Belt, One Road initiative was announced at Almaty, I think, in Kazakhstan by Xi Jinping on, I think, 15th of September 1930. But even before that, these things have been going on in several ways. It is a major initiative by China. It has, of course, Chinese interests at mind, and they are very genuine and very positive developments, positive things. It attempts to link up China with the rest of the world, mainly to the south and west, through roads, sea networks, oceanic networks, to cable connections, to roads, railways, etc. Now, and of course, economic structures have also been set up to allow that to happen, and that is also taking place. Now, many of these are very positive developments, but one has to see as to what. But these are just ideas. One Belt, One Road is just an idea. There have to be several projects to sustain this connectivity projects of initiated essentially by China. Each of these projects will have to be economically sustainable in order to work. Now, immediately now, we are seeing difficulties of that between China and Sri Lanka. Not as a part of the OBOR, but separately a bilateral relations, extensive bilateral relations have been going on there. For example, in Hambantota, the president of Sri Lankan's constituency, they built a huge cricket stadium, a huge international level airport, a major harbour, and they wanted to make an industrial zone. But the terms of agreement for those projects were such that that airport, which is not as good as the Bandar International Airport of Colombo, which is really very good. International airport, there are 600 workers on the airport and 450 persons arrive and take off from there a day. So economically, utterly unsustainable. So projects have been taken up which the Sri Lankan government will not be able to sustain. The industrial zone, of course, has not come about. The road between Colombo, actually from the Nike International Airport, to Hambantota, very good highway, center of this thing, but there was an alternate highway by the sea, along the sea, where all the habitation of Sri Lanka is. So the road is very good to the center of this thing, shorter, takes much less time, but nobody uses that. The cricket stadium, of course, once a year, a test match is played there. I don't think very much else happens. And the port is not yet usable because it's Colombo port. So each of these projects has to be carefully thought through. What I would like to say, this is a very ambitious, very well thought out proposal. It envisages land connectivity as well as sea connectivity extensively in the sense of a grand plan. Now, individual countries to work out which and what part of it is actually suitable and advantageous. That is a big challenge. Now, that can only be decided if all countries sit together, discuss all these issues, hash out all the problems, and find out solutions to all that. I would not attempt to advise the Nepalese government on any of these issues. But my suggestion would be that whenever this possibility exists through Nepal, to look at all the cost, all the utilization factors, social impact, the political repercussions of all those carefully. If they are good and positive, it will of course benefit Nepal. But if there are other things in it, so all that India was saying that these are very major projects. It's a Chinese-led project, but there has to be, if you want genuine participation by everybody, there has to be a greater dialogue and discussion to work out the broad principles of those as to who will be the owners, how will they be managed, what will the actual detailed financial structures. Of course, there are several banks set up in China to help support many of these activities, and that's of course where the loans will come from. You will not have difficulty obtaining the loans because the banks have been set up for that purpose and the money is available. But when it comes to repaying the loans, what will the terms of paying loans? What period? What are the terms? So these are several issues. So all that India was trying to say is that this has to be in greater consultation and coordination between all the member countries who will participate in this. Frankly, we have a major difficulty with the China-Pakistan economic corridor, which China is proposing through Jammu and Kashmir in India, and of course, very close to the Indian border, and of course, Jammu and Kashmir is a disputed territory. We know that it is Indian territory, as per the law and the thing, but it's disputed still. No, the others don't quite accept to go along with India, but nevertheless. So to construct such things through disputed territories where Chinese soldiers will actually be involved is not something that India can accept just like that. It is against the fundamental interests of India. Just like it will not be acceptable in the case of Nepal if something were to happen to Nepal and Chinese troops were actually to be available inside and doing things like that. So there are these issues. So this One Belt, One Road project has involved several of these conferences in China, Kunming, Yunnan, Beijing and other places. They are putting enormous amounts of effort in it. They are making some progress in some places, others there are lots of difficulties, etc. There is sea damage to that. I don't want to discuss that with Nepal because we're not directly concerned with that. But so therefore these issues need to be resolved before genuine cooperation at this magnitude in Asia can really take place. Now, we will be cooperating with China, hopefully in some substantial manner, in many other areas. India is a member of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Headquarters is still at Shanghai. Of course, the leadership is taken in rotation by the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. I've attended many of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization meetings also, not at the summit level, but at the other working level. And so there are many other areas and avenues for cooperation. So when Nepal decides on some of these issues, we should do that with a great deal of careful deliberation. Of course, whenever it is advantageous to Nepal, we must seize those opportunities. But if it is not, then we should be also very careful. मेरो ख्यालमा त यस्तो लाग्छ कि we have our independent economic institutions, banks, lending organizations and others. And of course, official relations between India and Nepal, we will come to an understanding. Two sovereign nations, understanding को बीच में आते ही हमने policy निकाल्न सक्छौं र अगाडि लैजान सक्छौं. Custody policy develop बोला भन्छ त्यो both countries have to accept it equally. So where specifically there have been some difficulties, some issues, I cannot directly identify or address because I'm also not. But as a general policy between India and Nepal, there's never any issue in which we have ever hesitated to support and help Nepal in whatever manner Nepal has wanted. We have an extensive. You embassy you shared India को सबभन्दा ठुलो एम्बेसी हो सारा पृथ्वीमा अरु केही ठाउँमा मलाई थाहा छैन त्यसले जाँदा होला के भनेर किन हो भनेर यो सबै एड असिस्टेन्स जति हुन्छ यो यहीँबाट दिन्छ र जस्तो इन्ट्र्याक्सन छ नेपाल र भारतको बिचमा स्टुडेन्ट एक्सचेन्ज लिनु होला मेडिकल एक्सचेन्जेस लिनु होला मिलिट्रीको त थाहै छ तपाईहरुलाई यो करिब 63 कोटी रुपियाँ हर साल पेन्सनमा जान्छ, नेपालमा आउँछ, त्यसभन्दा धेरै पैसा धेरै एड वगैरहको लागि जान्छ। तो यसको बारेमा हामीले केही मुस्किल छैन। तो कुन ठाउँमा कुन प्रब्लम, कुन प्रोजेक्टमा कुन प्रब्लम भयो भने अलि भन्न सक्दैन। साग यो त हाम्रो सबैले, खास गरेर इन्डिया, मोदी साहबले अहिले साग सब्जीमा आएर तपाईँले सुन्नु भयो होला, कति लेक्चर दिनु भएको थियो पहिला ट्रिपमा, पहिला भिजिटमा पनि, त्यसभन्दा कुछ महिना बाद साग समेतमा पनि म दुबई पालि काठमाडौँमा थिएँ, त्यो बेला सुन्यो मैले। हामीले सबै यही गरेछ सार्क कोअपरेसनको लागि। सार्क अहिले 8 देशको अर्गनाइजेसन हो, सब सभरेन इन्डिपेन्डेन्ट नेसन हो। इन्डियाको पपुलेसन 1.3 बिलियन होला, मालदिभ्सको पपुलेसन 450 लाख छ अहिले, 450 लाख। तो फर्क तो धेरै छ, तर मालदिभ र इन्डिया सार्कमा एकै जस्तो हो, दुवै सभरेन नेसन हो। अगर सार्कमा मालदिभले कुछ भन्छ कि यो हुँदैन, तो त्यो हुन सक्दैन। त्यो यो भारतले भन्न सक्दैन कि मालदिभ तपाईँ फसाउ, हामी तपाईँको 1000 गुणा ठुलो छ भनेर के हाम्रो कुरा सुन्नै पर्छ, भन्न सक्दैन। र पाकिस्तान छ, बङ्गलादेश छ, त्यो सबै मिलेर पढ्नुपर्छ। यो त हो कि हामीले सबैले मिलेर पढ्नु पाएन। धेरै साल हाम्रो बिचमा कुराकानी भयो, हामीले साउथ एसियन प्रेफरेन्शियल ट्रेडिङ अरेन्जमेन्ट गर्यो, साउथ एसियन फ्री ट्रेड अरेन्जमेन्ट बनायो। काफी साल पछि कुराकानी भएर एक देशले त्यो मान्दैन, धेरै कुराहरू भयो। एक देश भनेर हामीले यो मान्दैन, हामीले भन्छ कि हामीले पढे छैन, त्यहाँ छैन, साइन गर्दैन अहिले भनेर। त्यो साइन हुँदैन, त्यो फ्री पुरा 8 जनाको जो उयो थियो त्यो बन्द परेछ। त्यो फ्री ट्रेड जस्तो हुन सक्छ, तर नेपाल भारतको बिचमा त्यसको बारेमा यति प्रब्लम छैन कि हाम्रो ट्रेड त अलग्गै चल्छ। तर कोअपरेसन जो हो, जो 8 देश सार्कको बिच, त्यो अगर एक देशले भन्छ कि मैले गर्दैन, तो के हो? ठिक यही कुरा 2 साल पहिले सार्क समिटमा त्यो नेपाल काउन्सिल फर वर्ल्ड अफेयर्समा मलाई गर्नु भएको थियो। एकजना सिनियर एम्बेसडर हुनुहुन्छ, थाहा छैन, याद छैन नाम अहिले। तर के हो भनेर अहिले त्यसपछि हामीले डिसाइड गर्यो सार्क कन्ट्रिजहरूले कि सब रिजनल कोअपरेसन हामीले अगाडि गर्ने। अगर सबै 8 देश मान्दैन तो ठीक 4, 5, 6 देश करोस्, तो मिलेर करोस् और अलग अलग तरिका निकालोस्, पोलिसी बनाओस्, ट्रेड अरेन्जमेन्ट एग्रिमेन्ट गरोस्। त्यसको मुताबिक हामीले अहिले अगाडि बढ्दैछौँ। तो जो रिजनल कोअपरेसन अहिले सब रिजनल लेभलमा पनि हुन सक्छ। तो अगर बांग्लादेश, भुटान, इन्डिया, नेपाल 4 देश मिलेर अलग्गै किसिमको ट्रेड र मुभमेन्टको बन्दोबस्तमा अग्री गर्छ भने हामीले 4 देश अगर अगाडि बढ्न सक्छ। साउथ इस्ट एसियाको सँग पनि हाम्रो अलग तरिका छ, बिमस्टेक छ, अलग रिजनल कोअपरेसन बन्दोबस्त छ, त्यसमा पनि हामीले गर्न सक्छ। त्यो हामीले गर्नुपर्छ। यसको लागि सबै देशहरूलाई सोच्नुपर्छ, विचार गर्नुपर्छ, कसरी अगाडि जाने, किसमा हाम्रो फाइदा, किसमा हाम्रो नुकसान, त्यो पक्का ठीक गर्नुपर्छ। त्यो फैसला गरेर फेरि अगाडि जाने। भारतले चाहिन्छ कि सबैले यस्तो एकसाथ जाओस्। जस्तो सैटेलाइट कम्युनिकेसनको बारेमा, अहिले सैटेलाइट कम्युनिकेसन यति जरुरत छ सबैको लागि। यो मौसममा के हुन्छ भनेर, बारिस हुँदै के हुँदैन, के कहाँ फसल फेर्छ के भएको छैन, त्यो थाहा गर्नको लागि सैटेलाइट सबै देशको लागि जान्छ। इन्डियामा सबै अहिले कुन चाहिँ पन्डमा पानी कति छ भनेर अहिले सैटेलाइटले भनिहाल्छ, त्यसले धेरै फाइदा हुन्छ। त्यो इन्डियाले प्रपोजल गर्यो, कसैले 1 पैसा पनि दिनु पर्दैन, हामीले सबैले डाटा सेयर गरौँला। त्यसमा पनि यो सार्कको बिचमा मुस्किल भइरहेछ, कोअपरेसन हुँदैन। त्यो च्यालेन्जेस हो। त्यो हामीले यो सोच विचार गर्नुपर्छ, कसरी हामीले अगाडि बढ्ने। बायोलैटरल कोअपरेसन बनाएर
अलग अलग तरीका बनाएर 3-4 देश मिलेर अलग भनेर या पूरी साख गरेर त्यो हामीले त्यस्तो गर्नुपर्छ। त्यो ठिक कुरा हो। साखले भारतको लागि होइन, भारत तो अहिले 15-20 साल जस्तो जाँदा साख समिटहरूमा मैले अहिले 5-6 साख समिटमा मैले तयारी पनि गर्यो। 2002 सालमा जहिले साख समिट नेपालमा भएको थियो, मैले मेरो थिङ्क ट्याङ्क 1 महिना पहिले यहाँ एउटा ट्र्याक 2 कन्फरेन्स गरेको। ठिक 1 महिना पहिले समिटभन्दा पहिले शेरबहादुर देउवा साहब थियो, मैले प्राइम मिनिस्टर हुनुहुन्थ्यो, उनी आएको लेक्चर दिएको थियो। हामीले यो सबै बारेमा कुराकानी गरेको नै पुरा 7 देशहरूको बिचमा। तर इम्प्लिमेन्टेसनमा धेरै मुस्किल भइरहेको छ। यो हामीले सोच विचार गरेर यो अगाडि ल्याइहाल्नुपर्छ, साह्रै जरुरी पर्छ। This is part of democracy. You must raise issues, discuss this amongst yourselves with your friends in India. I also caught the word that you said younger brother and elder brother, isn't it? Okay, so a younger brother, elder brother, we don't consider like that. We are equal brothers. Equal brothers. The person who is between my regiment, I call him buddy. So he's my equal brother. So, बड़ा भाई सानो भाइ छैन। भाइको भित्र जो कुराकानी हुन्छ, यो हुन्छ, फरक आउँछ। कहिले फरक होला, कहिले कुछ ठीक होला। तर आफ्नो इन्ट्रेस्ट भाइले, दुवै भाइले आफ्नो भाइको इन्ट्रेस्टको सम्म सोच विचार गर्छ। उसीको सँगमा एकै जानुपर्छ भनेर यो होइन कि we will go in our separate ways. I think you also mentioned somewhere, later part of your speech perhaps, that India can also be split into different parts. Tamil Nadu can be broken up, Kashmir can be broken up. Well, I don't want to discuss that. If those are your wishes, I have to seriously disappoint you. That will never happen. That will never happen. It will also not happen, of course. Sikkim, etc., were different. You raised that issue of Sikkim, different. I don't want to go into the details of it. Bhutan is an independent country. Nepal is an independent sovereign country. That will not happen regarding Nepal and Bhutan either. So don't have any apprehensions, any fears about that. So we are sovereign nations, will remain sovereign nations. India is strong enough to defend itself. We need greater dialogue. We need greater understanding. I take the point that you made, that we are like brothers. Our destinies are common. We have to work together. There are issues and problems that arise from time to time, where we think we are right, you think you're right. Okay, let's sit down and discuss and come to a solution. That is how civilized people behave. That is how sovereign nations interact with each other. And so I know one of the reasons I have come to Nepal, I don't know how many times, more than I've been to China, that's more than 40 times. There are thoughts and feelings, and because we are also so close to each other that some issues look very big amongst us if something occurs between us. So we have to understand that these are issues we have got to discuss. The other side has got a point of view. His views have to be taken into account and considerations. And then we collectively find the best way forward. Yes, sometimes I would agree that India is interacting with the rest of the world. One of the problems is sometimes some people think that Nepal is not very important. In spite of the fact that, as I said, Nepal has the biggest embassy of India anywhere in the world. But still, perhaps Nepal does not get that much attention amongst our top leaders, amongst our top industrialists, that it does deserve. But that doesn't mean that the communication, the interaction, the friendship, the brotherliness between our two peoples should go away. This is the fundamentals of our relationship. As long as we keep that together and understand that this is the nature of our relations, there will be difficulties, there will be good times, there will be bad times. We'll live with it. Not to worry at all. Things will come together. We must understand each other and build trust between ourselves. That is a fundamental issue that we need to address. Because of limited.
थैंक यू सो मच सर. सर ने बिल्कुल ऐसा एग्जाम्पल सेट किया है what we really envisage the Voices program to be. The whole idea behind the Voices program when we started this was that we can all interact with each other, we can communicate with each other.